Look at these price points. 3 identical scoops of white powder, ranging from 15 to 40 cents a serving. At a molecular level, they are identical, creatine monohydrate. Because the molecule is exactly the same, all 3 saturate muscle ATP stores and drive strength equally. This raises a practical question. If the biological output is a tie, what are you actually paying for at that 300% markup? The creatine monohydrate label on the tub only names the end chemical. It says nothing about the specific manufacturing process, the sourcing, or the trace elements left behind in the powder. Market prices scale based on manufacturing transparency and verified purity rather than the potency of the creatine itself. Creatine is a synthetic product, manufactured through a chemical reaction between industrial precursors like sarcosine and cyanamide. These chemicals undergo a high-heat reaction inside industrial vats to force the rapid crystallization of the powder you see on store shelves. When this synthesis is rushed or poorly controlled to hit a lower price point, the reaction creates unintended toxic byproducts that remain in the final supplement. Cheap, generic batches frequently contain trace contaminants like DCD and DHT, manufacturing residues with no place in a human body. Loose industry regulations mean many budget brands skip the expensive, rigorous filtration and testing required to screen out these heavy metals and byproducts. Choosing a tier comes down to your personal tolerance for ingesting trace industrial toxins as part of your long-term daily routine. We can map these options on a quadrant chart to see where cost actually meets verifiable safety. In the bottom left, we have generic, unbranded creatine, the market's baseline tier. This provides the full performance benefit, but carries a higher risk of containing synthesis byproducts like DCD and DHT. These generic powders also tend to have poor solubility in cold water, creating a gritty, sandy texture that often triggers gastrointestinal issues. The alternative is Creapure, a branded monohydrate manufactured exclusively at a single facility in Germany. This sits higher on our chart, representing a moderate price increase for a massive jump in verified purity. Alzchem uses a completely closed-loop pharmaceutical line to move the powder through glass and steel chambers, which prevents outside contamination from entering the batch. This controlled process results in undetectable levels of DHT and keeps DCD residues well below the strictest European safety limits. Because Creapure is more finely micronized, the powder dissolves fully, which typically eliminates the grit and the stomach aches associated with cheaper variants. The Creapure Premium funds a safer manufacturing standard that removes the impurities and digestion issues common in bargain powders. Now we enter the convenience tiers, including formats like pressed Creapure tablets or pre-mixed drinks. These options offer mess-free, exact dosing and bypass the chalky textures or artificial sweeteners found in many flavored powders. In exchange for that convenience, you pay a much higher price per serving and lose the ability to adjust your daily dosage size. The final tier is professional grade. This occupies the absolute top edge of our chart, maximum safety at the highest possible price point. NSF certified for sport means an independent lab tests every single production lot for over 270 banned substances and performance-enhancing drugs. This level of scrutiny ensures zero risk of cross-contamination, a requirement for any athlete subject to professional drug testing. This certification pushes the price to the top of the market, often exceeding 36 cents per scoop. NSF certification serves as professional-grade insurance for drug-tested athletes, adding significant cost without changing the underlying muscle-building results for recreational users. Creatine's performance benefits hit a hard biological ceiling, leaving purity and convenience as the only remaining variables worth paying for. You can find your ideal product here by identifying your primary constraint on this decision tree. NCAA, WADA, or military personnel should follow the path for drug-tested athletes. At this level, the premium for an NSF-certified brand is a necessary career insurance policy against false positives. Consumers who prioritize long-term safety or have sensitive digestion should route towards standard Creapure. Buying standard Creapure powders or tablets effectively removes the risks of industrial toxins and GI distress. This choice specifically funds the German engineering and closed-loop manufacturing required for total purity. For the average recreational lifter, the most efficient path is generic micronized monohydrate. Reputable generic brands provide nearly the entire physical benefit at a lower cost. Dissolving the powder in warm water helps manage remaining grit. The right choice simply scales with your specific need for third-party verification and digestive comfort.